So let's play what's in the box. So if you said it's a pole dancer for me pole that I've ordered from China, you'd be wrong. But it is something to go on top of that pole. Yep, let's have a look what we got then. What we've got here is some wiring to do. Yep, that's for a power cable. And I've also got power cable came with it. And well, that's why I need that. And then we've got these. And yep, those. And one of them. And another one of them. So yep, you're right, it is Equinox Helix XP, the 150 watt with the rotating gobos and all that jazz. Comes with a manual, comes with a light, comes with a bag. And then what we got here in the manual, we've got a spare fuse. Don't know if that's trying to say something, but we also have some extra gobos. So got snowflake one, hearts for weddings, manual focus, got a hanging bracket here. This hanging bracket, you can basically unscrew that from there and you can swap it round to the other side if you want, because it's got the same bolt pattern. On the back here we've got the power in, because on the 150 watt ones, the XPs, you get power, whereas I believe you get IEC on the 100 watt. I've got the 150s because I'm using 7R beams and I want them to kind of keep up. You got power out, so you can daisy chain them. It's got a fuse in here, so if you want to use that spare fuse, that's where you can stick it. It's got input for a controller of some description, which you don't get with it. And then it's obviously got DMX in and out. And you got a little menu so you can run through whatever you've got. Got a mic there, so it obviously does sound light as well. And then on the top here, got a little compartment which you can unscrew, which takes like ages, and you have to be cautionable because it says it's hot, although not on your power. And that there, that's got an earth lead on it, so you've got to be careful you don't pull that off, and you can't tip it up anywhere. But yeah, you can get to the gobos here. So these little gobo things, somehow they pop out, and I can put those other ones in if I want to change them out, which I'm going to change out. Some of them I'm going to take two out, don't know which two yet, just going to look what the most boring ones are. Put the snowflakes and the hearts in there. So got two, because obviously they'll work good as a pair. I've got two of these poles as well, so I'll have one each side, have them on top. We'll sort the brackets out for that in a bit. There's no switch on the back, you just literally plug it in, and it does its boot up sequence there. I want to do that as well. Once that stops saying RSet, which is reset, shortly ish. Yep, we're on this one, and this is on a sound to light mode. So if we tap you around like that, yep, it's using that mic in there. There's probably a sensitivity adjustment, not so sure. This is also on sound to light, so obviously both are going together. We've got here, got a DMX cable, so if I come out of this one, I haven't tried this yet, but if I yep, one-handedly put that in there, and then one-handedly put this in here, make two-handedly. Yeah, now they are, I assume, no, they're not. No, they're not on master slave. But I'm guessing if we go into the menu, and that's obviously DMX mode, that's sound mode. Cool. So maybe if I put this one on DMX mode, no, maybe it's not that then. Right, we go back on sound mode. Tell you what we'll do, I'll unboot this one and then we'll boot it back up. Then maybe it'll realise that that one's a master. Maybe that is what you need to do. Maybe not. So what we've got here is the manual, and it's got the different modes here, but it doesn't tell you how you get into them. So we have to work it out for ourselves. I'm guessing if I push on the menu button and then push enter, maybe I can... No, don't think that is it. No. Alright, cool. Right, okay, so I don't press enter, I'll just go into the thing, so obviously that's... So that doesn't do anything. Well, actually pushing the button seems to spin it round. Cool. So if I push that, and it says address, so we're in DMX mode, I'm guessing if I push that I could use the DMX address, yeah, perfect. Or, if I push that, it goes through the different modes. And so that's sound, something gonna mast. Right, so okay, right, so mast. So let's make this one the master. So I'm guessing what we want there is mast. We push that. We'll find where it says mast. Press that. This one here now, I guess is the master. Well, it says off. Let's yeah, okay, whatever. Right. Yeah. Right, we'll go back to mast. I'm assuming it's on, whatever. Right, and then if we go into this one here. Don't know what that means. Right, oh, SLND apparently means slave. So if I press that, so that's slave 1 now. So that's master and that's slave and it's not slave. That makes perfect sense. Master. Right, so right, master on. Perfect. Right, now we're in master slave. Cool. So this one's the master. This one is obviously not doing anything because it's a slave and it's following this one. So in short, to get to that, because that took a bit of a working out, we have to push this until it says address, so it's basically in the mode menu. We go down here until it says master or mast with, right, it looks like an N, but there you go, nast, which is apparently master. Press that and apparently it's on at the moment. If you go there it says off, and if you go there it says on. Right, so obviously we'll put it in the on position so that master is on, and then we go over here and we put that on there and we go through here until it says SLND, which is apparently how you spell slave, and you push enter and then it will be slave 1, I guess, because that's what it is. And then we are in master slave. Yes, but we don't want to do that. We are going to use Daslight for DMX, and obviously Daslight predates them, so you will not have a profile. So we're going to go into the scan library editor. So we're in the scan library editor. We've got the manual here with the DMX channels. There's a 6-channel mode and an 8-channel mode. As far as I see, the 8-channel mode, which is on the next page, it's basically just got some macros and stuff you can get to. Not too bothered about that, just use the basic 6-channel mode. So basically the first channel is going to give you the dimmer and strobing and bits and pieces like that. The second channel is going to give you all the colours, and then the next channel is going to give you the gobos. Then you've got gobo rotation on the channel after that, and then on the last channel there you've got basically the rotation of the actual dish overall, and you can vary the speed of that and the direction. So first channel number 1 we're going to need to find a dimmer. So that's going to be somewhere around it there. So that's going to be channel number 1. That is going to be dimmer. Channel number 2, that's going to be the shutter. That's probably why that's getting annoyed, because it's got a dimmer but it hasn't got a shutter. That one. And that's going to be the second channel there. That's also not liking that either. So the reason it's not liking that is basically I've got to tell it what the values are in the dimmer channel. So it's got values between 0 and 255 per channel. It obviously doesn't know what any of them are. So if you highlight the dimmer there, if we go over here, you've got different things you can put in there. So you've got dimmer linear, dimmer simple, and then pulses and this and other. Right, let's just have a linear dimmer. So I'm guessing that's what that is. Now that is happy. And if we look on here, yeah, it's just dimmer 0 to 100, so that's fine. And then in the shutter here, the different types of shutter. So basically, the shutter is either open or it's doing strobes. So what have we got here? Right, so we've got shutter, open, closed, and then we've got blackouts, and then we've got a strobe here. So what we've got to do is we've got to put these on in the order that they occur on here. So obviously the blackout is at the top, so that's obviously dimmer closed. That's the value, well, value 0. The dimmer is open there, and then obviously we're going to strobe. So we're going to have shutter closed, and then above the shutter closed, we're going to have the shutter open. So yeah, it's doing it in order, I think anyway. We're going to find out. The shutter is open there in those values, and then after the open value, then we've got a strobe value, slow to fast. So we need to find the strobe. It's going to go after open, and then after the strobe, we go back to open again. Then after the open, we go into a pulse, slow to fast, which is basically a strobe again, but let's see what we've got here. Flash. Let's call that flash because that's probably what that is. Alright, and then after the flash stroke pulse, go back to open again. So we put that on there. Open again, and then we're going to a random strobe. Slow to fast, so we'll just has it got that on there? No, just got strobe, so it'll just be a strobe. Then we can rename that. So that's the random strobe, and then we're going back to open again. So we put that down there, and then these here now, it's going to tell you the basically the values that they go to. So obviously we could drag that. So like obviously that's going from anything between 0 and 17 is going to be that position. Obviously it's not 0 and 17 on here. It is it's where are we? Yeah, it's basically 0 to 31 is blackout. So basically what we need to do is move this down to 31 there. So basically that is the first bit. Now obviously this one starts at 32 and it will go up to whatever it says on there. So basically I'm going to put all these in here, adjust them, and then that will be the dimmer, the shutter even, because the dimmer's on just basically 0 to 100. And then we're going to move on to the next channel. I've gone ahead and basically I've gone through there and I've put all these at the correct values and given them the right names and this, that and other. I've now saved this as an Equinox Helix just so I don't lose it. It says the type is a moving head. Don't worry about that. That's just so when it does it on the visualizer, it knows what to put on the picture. I'm not going to use the visualizer, so I don't care. So the next one along is channel 3. And basically I've taken a picture of my phone and zoomed it in because that's very tiny. Channel 3 is the colours. So that's a colour channel. So I'm going to assume that we can use this one. We can put that there. And then we can pick colours out of there. Yeah, that's going to be really fun. Let's see if there's an easier one with actual just colours to pick. So this one is a colour wheel rotation. That might be better. Right, so let's have a look at that. So no, that's a rotating colour wheel, so it doesn't actually give you any colours. And that says Gobo shake on it, and it's colour wheel. That's not very helpful. RGB, no, that's not helpful. CMI, that's not good either. None of those are any helpful. So basically, it looks like I'm going to have to do that, and I'm going to have to sit there and pick in colour. Right, so how's this work then? Yeah, cool. Well, the first one anyway is white because that's open. So right, let's pick white. Do we pick that? Do we put that over there? No, that's not it. Put that over there. Yeah, right. So that's what we do. Basically, the first one is white, and it doesn't have a name. Cool, that's brilliant. So oh, you can name it. So it's called open, but basically open is white. So yeah, that's white. So colour 1 is white, as it says on here, open. Colour 2 is going to be red. So we're going to go and pick a red. Easiest way to do that, I guess, is going to just be with, no, can't push that up, so I'm going to put 0 in there, 0 in there. Oh wow, it's X and everything. Right, so 0 in there, 0 in there. No, maybe not. Marvellous. Let's just bring that over there then, shall we? Alright, that's a, yeah, that's almost red because that there is not 0. Right, so that's red, allegedly. Oh, that's good. We don't even need to drag it over. You just double click and it kind of goes on there. Yep. So the second one's red, and then we've got a red blue, which that's really not going to help because I'm supposed to put 2 on there at the same time. I don't know. So yeah, that's going to be a pain in the butt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to find RGB, and what we're going to do is we're going to just delete those 2, and then we're going to name that colour. So yeah, that's not working either. So basically, you're going to delete that, and we're going to go over here, colour wheel rotation. We'll put that there, and then what we're going to do is go over here and see what we got. Clockwise rotation. Right, rotation index. Let's try that. Ooh, whatever. All right. So now we've got the value. It doesn't like that. Let's call that colour. No, it's not happy with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the colour back in here because it's called colour. Then we're going to go over here and we're just going to go there. Put that over there, and it's called colour. Right, and basically you could choose a value between 0 and 255. So what that means, when I'm in Daslight, I won't be able to pick the colour when I'm making the scene from a list. What I'll have to do is just manually move it to the number I want, which obviously I've got the references on here anyway for the values of where the centres of those colours are. So basically what I'll have to do is manually find the colours, and then I'm going to save them as a scene anyway. And I think that's going to be easier than trying to faff about doing all the colours and then trying to do split colours, because that's yeah, that doesn't have the capabilities for doing split colours. Channel 4, which is Gobo, which I've now zoomed up there as well. So basically I'm going to drop Gobos over here and see what options we're given with Gobos. We click on here, oh yeah, so you could pick a Gobo from there, which yeah, don't know what they are in the thing at the moment, to be honest. But we have got channel 1 in Gobo 1. I'm just going to give them all the same Gobo, because what you could do is you can name the Gobo anyway, so the image is irrelevant. Well, it isn't, but it is. So yeah, we've got Gobo 1 and we've got Gobo 2, and we're going to go up to 8 Gobos. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 Gobos. And then what we've got after the 8 Gobos, then we've got a Gobo scroll clockwise and then a Gobo scroll anti-clockwise. If we go in here, and if we got that option or not, don't think we've got that option. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick a different Gobo, unless I can find that one's got a symbol that looks like a rotation on it, which it probably hasn't. Nope. So for the Gobo scroll, I'm just going to pick that because it's got like various colours in it, so it represents multiple things. Alright, yep, can't put that there. Cool, that's great. It's cool, but it's in the wrong place. Right, so hopefully we can we drag it down? Yeah, we could drag it down. So that's going right at the bottom. Yeah, that's going right at the bottom down here. I could drag it down to the bottom, but I can't insert it in the bottom. Maybe we shouldn't say things like that. Right, so we need 2 of those. So we put the other one there, or wherever then, because you clearly can't put it there, or there, or there. So we'll put it there, and then we'll drag it down there, and it won't do it. So why has that one moved all the way up there now? Stupid thing. Right, so yeah, we've got 8 Gobos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we've got 2 of the Gobos, but they're going to be the scrolling. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go and rename them. So we're going to call you Gobo 1. Yeah, of course we are. I'm just going to call you 1 then. Seems half the keys don't work on the keyboard anymore. Right, you're 2. You're 3. You're 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. And then this is scroll clockwise. and this here is scroll anti-clock wise. And if we go back in here, because we've disappeared, Gobo 1 is 0 to 16. So if we go up to here, and then we're just going to drag that up. Yes, we're just going to drag that up. So that finishes at 16, and then the next one starts at 17. I'm just going to adjust all of those so that the values add up, and then what it does is it picks the middle value. So basically if you select that, it will go bang in the middle of it, which should hopefully be bang in the middle of the position on the light. So that's in, and I've adjusted them all. I don't know why it's got that there, and I don't care. Oh, he's going to tell me. Default preset missing, recommended Gobo open. Well, you know what? There isn't one, it's called Gobo 1. Right, so the next channel is Gobo rotation. So that's there. Let's see what options we've got on here. Right, so we've got clockwise, anti-clockwise, rotation index, and it's got rotation index on here. That's good. Actually, something what matches. I have to select it myself. Cool. Rotate, Gobo index, prism index. No, it's Gobo index. Right. Cool. So I've selected it myself. Lucky me. Right. Next we've got Gobo anti-clockwise rotation. So where's that? Clockwise, anti-clockwise. So anti-clockwise goes next. So we've got rotation index, anti-clockwise, and then after anti-clockwise, I'm guessing we're going to have. Alright, so no, it was clockwise before that, it's just in small writing above it. Right, so what we need to do is get the clockwise one and try and squeeze that in between the two, and it probably moan about it, but we'll find out. No, it's worked. Right, so now we just need to do the numbers. So 0 to 127 is the index. That's actually already done. And then we've got 128 to 191. That's going 181, so let's go 191. And then 192 to 255. Yep, I think that's right. So the last and thankfully final channel is this one here, and that there is the rotation of the dish. So that is basically what that's doing right there. And what we've got on here, which seems to be the closest of it, is rotation of the drum. So let's go with that and see what options we get. Right, so rotation of the drum. Let's just rename that to dish, because dish is what it is, allegedly. Right, so we're there. So what have we got here? We've got clockwise and anti-clockwise. So on here we have got rotation index, then we've got anti-clockwise, and then we've got clockwise, because why not have it the wrong way around? Yeah, so we can't do index, so what we, oh yeah, cool. So what we'll do is just put that in there and just rename it. Yeah, dish index. And then we have got, after the indexing, we have got the anti-clockwise. So that one there is that one, anti-clockwise, down there. And then after anti-clockwise, we have got clockwise. let's just rename roller to dish, because why not? Clockwise dish. Yeah, cool. Right, so theoretically that is the profile done. If we go up here and we'll save it, and it says they haven't got pan and tilt because it's a moving head. Well, it's not a moving head, so screw. So we're in Daslight, we're open up. We're going to save this, and we're going to save it as 2025. And the reason we're going to do that is in case we mess anything up. And then we're going to go into setup here, and this is where you patch your lights. So I've already got my Sharpies patched, me moving washes and me uplighters are patched on there. So basically we just go in here. Now what I've done is I've saved it in the Equinox folder. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here and find Equinox. Somewhere, which is up here because it's not in alphabetical order. We're going to go on here, and then we have called it Helix 150. So that is there. So we're gonna have two of those. So we're going to go for channel 489. Yep, I'm going to try and go for 489. For some reason it's not liking that. Yep, so there we go. We're on that one, 489, and we're going to go on to that one as well, which is 495. And we're going to save you. Thank you very much. We're going to go up here, up to save. Cool. And then if we go into the Equinox Helix here, and down here we could turn fade on for different things. So obviously you want your dimmer to fade, so you want that. You want your shutter to basically move to where you put it. You want your colour to move to where you put it. You want your gobo to move to where you put it. You want your gobo rotation to move to where you put it. You might want your rotation of the dish to fade, because then it can kind of accelerate up to that, rather than just be straight there. So, and then we're going to just repeat the same for the other one. So if we just go into the live mode, we've got the helixes here. So that one there, well, go back into setup because we forgot what channel they're on, and they are on 489. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here, and we're going to plug you into the DMX. Like so, and it says D1 there, so now I'll assume I can address. Let's try that. Here we go. So that was, if I remember correctly, was 481. Let's put it on 481 and see if we remembered right. No, we didn't. It was 489. So 489 then. Right, so you're on 489, and the other one there was on 495. So if we go into here, and here again, and then down to 495. Cool. Right, so theoretically that they are now talking. So if we go into the live mode here, and if I open the shutter, let's go to, well, first open, then shutter open, and then dimmer open. There we go. That's the dimmer. And close the shutter. Yep. Which is closed. Right, so that is controlling that one. And if I go on here and I basically do that, I'll basically control both at the same time. So now if I like that, they're both doing the same thing. I don't know why you're rotating, because I've not told you to rotate. Yeah. Oh, so yeah, they're kind of doing a bit of half and half. I don't know why it's doing that, because it's not supposed to be doing that. Yeah, so you're still in sound and light mode, but you're also in DMX mode at the same time. That makes no sense whatsoever. So far. Oh yeah. Push enter. No. That makes no sense. Because that shouldn't be doing that. Yes, I've accidentally triggered something on here. I don't think I have. But anyway, this next one here, this is the colour. So if I move that up and down, that is adjusting the colour. But it's only adjusting the colour on one of them. And the other one's also on DMX. Oh yeah, that one's also open as well. Yeah, so I can adjust, yeah, that one's colour's adjusted. That one there's colours not adjusting. Alright, so what I think I've done is that's turning round and that's clearly not. I think I've put it on the wrong channel. I think all I need to do is I need to go back into this screen here and we need to double check what we've done. So yeah, 489 is that channel. So this one should be on 489. So that one is definitely on 489. And this one here is definitely on 495. But I bet you one's been put into the 8 channel mode and the other one's in the 6 channel mode. So somehow there must be somewhere on the menu. Maybe it's in that one there, so the address. Don't know what that means. So what we need to do is we need to find CHND on the menu, which is the channel mode. So if we go into the menu and we go that one. So that one's in 8 channel, we don't want it in 8 channel, we want it in 6 channel, so that's probably what the problem is there. So that's in 6 channel. Now if we go on to here, and find it again on here, that one's also in 8 channel, which is a bit of a problem. Right, so that's in 6 channel mode as well. Right, so both of those are now in 6 channel mode, and both are on the correct DMX address. So if we go here and we select both of these, we turn the dimmer off on both and the shutter off on both, so shutter open on both of them. So we go to open there and we turn the dimmer up on both of them. They're both on dimmer. Yeah, cool, and they're not doing any sound like random shit now, so that's good. Right, so now if I go colour on here, yep, they are both doing the same thing. So, yeah, cool, that's the colour. Right, we'll just leave them on white for a minute, and then what we got here is we've got the Gobos. So, we've got Gobo 1, which I'm guessing is open. Gobo 2, which is that one. Gobo 3. Gobo 4, Gobo 5, 6, 7, and then Gobo 8, and then we've got these scroll clockwise, so it's scrolling, and I'm guessing there's a speed in there as well. So yeah, you can slow that down and speed it up, and then if we go up into the other one, it goes the other direction. And obviously we could just get rid of that because that's shit and put it on Gobo 8 like so. And now what we've got here, we've got this is rotation, and I can't remember what was rotation. Well, yeah, that's the dish. Right, so this will be the Gobo rotation then. Right, so we've got rotation index, which I don't really know what that does. Right, and then we got, wow, yeah, that's fast. So, right, yeah, so rotation index is kind of some kind of position. No, okay, yeah. Can't do that at the same time, and then obviously that there is the other direction. That's on like super million mile an hour mode. I'll slow it down. Or we can just get rid of all that. And then this one here is the dish. So dish index doesn't do anything. Oh. And we've got dish clockwise. And then we've got dish anti-clockwise. And then we've got varying speeds within that. Right, so basically that's getting confusing because there's two going at the same time. Right, so cool. They're going rather fast and all. So yeah, slowed them down. So what I'll do is I'll have one going one way, and then we're going to make the other one go to the way, like so. And obviously I've probably got the speeds different because I need to look at the numbers on the positions on the DMX when I've created some scenes, but yeah, that's kind of doing that. So what I've done is I've moved the colour fader on one of them up to 58, which is the start of yellow. So we've got yellow going on over there now, and then if we go on to the other one and pick, got a split colour over there. This here is my Helix section. So basically this is the shutter, so that's open and close, and then what I've got is these overlays, so basically they just control one part of the thing. So this is the Gobo, so Gobo 1 is basically open, Gobo 2, and then obviously we go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. There's 8 over there. Then I've the colours is going to take me a long time to program them because you've got to find the exact values for them. So basically colour 1 is white anyway, so that's kind of open. Then we've got red, we've got a split colour which is red and blue, and then we've got blue on its own there. So basically if I put that back on the white, and then what I've got here, I'll just turn off a minute. I've got basically, now that I've turned them off, it's all static. Right, so I've got the rotation of the Gobo, so I've got medium rotation, so basically I've got them going the medium speed, kind of that way, and then kind of that way. And then I've got here a slow speed, kind of slowly rotating that way and rotating that way, just the Gobos, so we can kind of stop them. And then what I've got is a dish, so that's kind of the thing as an overall. So I've got it on a medium, and what I've got is obviously going in opposite directions like so. And then I've got a slow speed, so I've got a slow on that and slow on that. And then what I could do is at the same time as the whole thing overall basically rotated slowly or fast, medium, I can basically rotate the Gobos at the same time. So the Gobos are spinning within the dish, spinning, so that's kind of that effect. Now what I need to do now is kind of program an effect where they kind of go fast, slow, and on the Gobos and the dish to kind of create kind of basically a chase. And then what I need to do is program all the colours and program a colour chase, program a Gobo chase which goes through the Gobos as well. And then basically what I'll be able to do is push different combinations to get different light shows. So what I've done now is I've created a basic chase. So this one's the chase what's on the Gobo rotation. So basically they both go slow, then one will go fast and then one's slow, and then that's fast and then that's slow, and vice versa. And then what I've done is I've created a similar chase on, there are only 3 steps in these chases, so basically it goes fast and slow, and opposite to each other. And then what you can do is combine that with that chase there, so then you get a kind of a bit of everything going on. And obviously what I'll also do is create some colour chases, some gobo chases, and then it'll all come together. So what I've done now is I've added a speed fader on both the rotation and the disc rotation, so gobo and disc rotation, for the medium, the slow, and for the chase. So basically it'll vary the speed, but it'll vary the speed within the speed range. So in the slow range it'll vary a slow speed, and in the more faster range it'll vary the faster speed. Then on the chase it'll vary the slow and the fast speed, because it's a combination of both. So what I've done now is I've set them to both, well I've got it on the slow rotation of Gobos, but I'll set them to scroll through the colours very slowly, but for one to do it in one direction on the colour wheel, another in another direction on the colour wheel, and they're also slightly out of sync. So basically what will happen is when you're using a pair together, you're going to get a combination of colours. And then I've got that on a slow version, and I've got that on a sort of medium speed version of that as well. And then we can put that other chase on so that that's spinning around like that. And we can include that chase as well. So that's like a sort of colour changing chase with 2 different colour changes going on. And then I've got like a gobo spinning thing going on, and also the dish spinning thing going on. And I'm also going to create a colour chase, which is basically going to be a colour change. So they'll go through the colour wheel, both of them together, the same colour, change in sync. And then I'll also create one where they'll basically go through the colour wheel, but I'll have one go one way and one go the other way, but in sync. So then what'll happen is there'll be 2 different colours going and they'll mix together. And then I'm going to also create some gobo chases so that they'll flick through the gobos and do it where they all go both on the same gobos, and then when they sort of reverse, so one goes on one gobo and one goes on another gobo in reverse, so they kind of, create lots of pretty patterns. So I've got one point this way, one point that way with the haze on. Can't really tell the effect on the camera, but yeah, it looks pretty good. So go on the colour scroll now, on the slow scroll. So this is on the chase, so this is kind of doing the chase thing, so the gobo's rotating and the dish rotating at the same time. And I've also got the colour sort of scroll effect going on at the same time as well. So you can see on the back one there, sort of scrolling through the colours. Yeah, looks much better from over here. The haze seems to have found its way over here better. And then for like on a first dance, you want some white. You can have a nice rotating white flower effect. I'm going to put the heart gobos in though for first dances, and could have a nice rotating pink, that'll look nice. Then I've also got snowflakes, which are going to stick in for the Christmas party season. Now I've got some difficult decisions to make, because I want to fit some of these gobos. I definitely want the heart one, because obviously do weddings, brides will want hearts. We do Christmas parties, so I want the snowflake, but I want to leave it in there permanently, otherwise I will forget to put it in or I will lose it. So these 2 are a given, so that means 2 gobos have got to come out for those to go in. So I've basically gone through the gobos here, and well, gobo number 5, that's a bit shit, so I can get rid of that. And gobo number 7, not too keen on that either, so I can get rid of that. 6, I could probably live without that one, so I reckon that gives me room for 3. But then you see I've got these here. Now these ones here, in terms of being a gobo, projecting onto something, they don't really do much. But this one here, when it's obviously going to have loads of them, obviously not on the Gobo rotation because it won't do anything rotating, but on the actual dish rotation, you're going to have some like spikes rotating around, and that'll look good in haze. But then this one here will do a similar effect, but obviously it's going to be a bar of beams for each thing, and then rotating around. So that'll be pretty cool as well. That there's pretty much the same as that, but in a line. So I reckon I definitely want those in. I might want that in, and I might want that in. I reckon what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those in, see what they look like. That one specifically in haze, and then yeah, I might actually put that one in, I don't know. So the way you get these out is you open this Gobo access thing by undoing the bolts, turn it around like that because it's got a herf on there, so you ain't going to get it out. Caution hot, yes that is hot. And then what you need to do is you need to find your Gobo. So the way you need to find your Gobo is you shine your torch in, and then you can kind of just about see it from the right angle. Now this one I can see is the open one, so I know that's number 1. And I will now take out 5, 6 and 7. So what you got to do is you've got to count it. But what I've done is I've gone around both ways and I've worked out that it turns this way. So that's number 1, and then we go this way, that's number 2, that's number 3, that's number 4, that's number 5. So we want number 5 out. So to take it out, you'll get in that little bit there, that little bit there, and that'll pull it away, and you can come out like that. So yeah, that looks like one I want to take out. That's number 5. So what you've got now is a circlip in there, which you've got to find something to get that out, and then that'll pop out, put the new one in, put the circlip back in. So I've got the Gobo out. It goes in with the dark side facing the cogs, and then that's the circlip there with the little things upstanding this way. Now the way you get that out is you squeeze these together. You can get a tool for it. I don't have a tool, so I did it with my finger and push it from behind at the same time, then it kind of goes on the wonk and then you can push it out. Getting it back in, not sure. But what we're going to do is I'm going to have a heart as number 5 in. So that's going to go into there, and level that in. Well, I've got the circlip back in off camera, and I'm going to be honest, that took about 2 seconds and that was piss easy. Right, so that goes in that way round. You've got to find out where it came in. There's basically a little thing for that to slot into somewhere there. This is the bit what's going to be really awkward. So you've got to kind of find out where that's slotted in and get it back in. So yeah, it's back in. That'll line up down the bottom, and then that'll kind of almost line up there, and you just have to go side to side a bit until the line up with the holes, and it'll just kind of spring back in. So number 5's done. So the next one here is basically this one, which is number 6, and now we know how to get them out. Come out a lot easier. So swap those out, put the little pinny one in. I'm going to try that one if I don't like it. And basically what you do is you just turn your little cog around here, just make sure everything rotates, which basically means you've got everything back in as you should have. And then these can go on here like so. So we'll just fire him back up. Like so. Move you over here, we'll have you on you. Stick you on the Gobo of any description. Go white. Yep. Cool. Right, going to turn the haze machine back on because we want to see what this looks like in the haze. And I'm going to turn the lights out. So first of all, we changed number 5. So number 5 now is the hearts, and yeah, hearts would look good. If I can find it, we haven't got pink, but we've got purple. You know, in purple. It's a nice purple heart for weddings. In fact, have a red love heart. Yep, cool. Wicked. So we've got back white. Then we changed that to 6, which is that pin spot one there, which I want to see what that looks like as a beam effect in haze. That's why we're putting haze on. And then obviously we've got the white snowflakes for crib bow time, which basically means if I do any kind of chases in here, I want to not include them because obviously it's not crimbo every day, although some people wish it would be. So yeah, that is the haze effect with that sort of that kind of dotty gobo there. Yeah, I really do like that. That looks really cool. But obviously that's a haze only gobo really, because like just projected it's kind of just dots, but it looks really cool in haze. I mean, even the hearts look good in the haze, and they're on the sort of, when the colours kind of split as well. So I've decided we're going to take out the little dotty one, if I can find it. And I'm going to try those 3 dots together. Right, I think, can't see it properly, but I think it's that one. So take that out. Like so. Oh, yeah, okay, I'm going to find a screwdriver now. If you ever wondered how many screws hold this together, it's about 25,000. There you go, that's that. Back out. And Brucey bonus, it's the right gobo. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave those screws out until I've put this gobo back in successfully. So what I need to do now to get this out is pull that little lever in there. There's 2 of them. You can get a tool that pulls them together. I ain't got that tool. Pull that so you just give it a bit of a lever tension basically, and then it will just pop out. That'll pop out, and then we're going to put this one in. Put that in there. And we kind of get that in at an angle, so we'll just get it there, just push it down, just go around, make sure it's sitting flush, and then if we come back over to the light, and we see, it's this is the problem, this little fucker just springs into it and knocks it inside the thing. So basically just 100% sure that's in there properly before you put it in. And then you find out where you took it out from, try and locate it, get a bit of wiggle about until yeah, this is really awkward. There's somewhere that goes into down there, and you just have to kind of guesswork it until it kind of finds it. So that's it there, and it's kind of spring loaded. That's why it went in there before and that hit it. So it's there, and now you just got to wiggle it about till it goes back into its holes. Turn your little wheel around, make sure everything rotates as it should. So I decided to take out the little dots, put the bar dotty things in instead. I've basically put the replaceable gobos in both of them now, so they are matching. The camera went dead, so didn't get to film that, but you get the idea. So what I've also done now is these chases here, I've put them on a sound to light. So basically if we tap on there, which is the mic in the laptop, what it's going to do is it's going to change to each step based on the beat. So now they're kind of on a sound to light pattern instead of just a timed pattern. So this here now is what it looks like with the haze on. This is just on the slow rotation of the gobos and the slow rotation of the dish with the slow scrolling through the colours. and I've got them, you know, both going in different directions through the colours, so it kind of gives you a nice combination of colours, like so. And if we put the two chases on the sound to light, you can see them moving to my voice and everything. Put some music on. So yeah, clearly needs more work, needs to put some more sort of chases into this, but it's a starting point. So now I've got the Gobos going through, changing every 1 second, but then what I've also created is a sound to light on the Gobo. So the Gobos are now changing on the sound to light, the same as the chases are changing on the sound to light as well. So now that gives a lot more action. So that's a lot more dancey. So what I've done is with the colour fade chase, what I've done now is I did have it so they both went in opposite directions through the colour wheel, so I've got a combination of colours between the two. What I've done is create one where they basically both on the same colour now, so they're all scrolling through the same colour on a slow fade. I could also do it on a faster change through the colours as well. Obviously I've got the Gobo change and natural chase on sound and light, but the colours on basically on a timed colour change. I do actually prefer the slower. I was going to create a chase where I'd actually do a colour change, but I don't need to. This macro kind of does it, because I did wonder if I put them both on the colour fade, whether they would go out of sync with each other. But they're not going out of sync, they seem to stay in sync, so that's really good. I like that. So obviously that's on the sound of light there, so we can come around the front. Hazel's pumping back out again. I'll put a gander what we're looking like. So I've now put it on the slow rotation there, so that's kind of operating on time rather than sound to light. And I've also put the chase through the Gobos on time rather than sound to light as well, so you can kind of that doesn't affect what I'm going to show you now. So what I've now created, so obviously we're going to put some music on. So that's not on sound. Those modes are not on sound to light. They can be, but they're not. Right. So what I've done is I've created a chase here. Well, this is basically a shutter chase. So basically they'll both be on. One will be on. Both on. Other one on. That one's on time. So that's basically just on timer. And that there, you can combine that. So if I combine that with a sound to light chase like that, so obviously now you get that kind of effect. Right, so all we do is just put them back on the slow so you can see what's going on. What I've now is I've done the same chase, but this chase is on sound to light. So basically the go between the on and off and flicking side to side is now based on the beat of the music. And also, finally, we got a strobe. So we can put that on sound of light, we can put that on sound of light, that on sound of light, that on sound of light, and we're having a rave. So that's basically the programming for now. Obviously I can add to that, but that will get me through the first gig with them. Now, how am I going to mount them on that pole? It's not for pole dancers, it is for the lights. And I'm going to put these on top of there, but they're not in here because my ceiling's just under 2 meters because of planning permission. But obviously most ceilings are 2.4, that's a 2 meter pole. So you'll have 400 up there, and that's not 400. in most, you know, sort of standard ceiling lights, so it should be fine. Obviously not in here. This is basically a 50mm truss pole, so that's basically got those little noggin things there that go into your base plate. Pin goes through to the end of it. Other end's the same. So what we've got one of these. That comes with a bolt in it. The trouble with this bolt, what comes in it, is because this is designed to go in a base plate, it's got a chamfer on it. We don't want that. Right, so basically we've gone down the hardware store and I've got two different sizes of bolts, because it's basically got to go through that, into that, be long enough but not too long, because obviously there's that's not continuous hole there. So I think the smaller one will probably be alright, but we'll find out. And also got a crush washer, because basically this here, because the pin goes through that, that's going to end up where it is, and the light's going to be pointed where it is, and we obviously want to have to turn the light around. So if we put the bolt through here with the crush washer on it, it'll just work like a normal clamp and be able to spin it around. So yeah, that's the plan. This is going to basically go on here, bolt it through there, drop it into the top of that, put the pin through. So we'll try it first with the longer bolt and see how we get on. It might be too long, but it might, I think. Yeah, because of the crush washer and the thickness of the metal, that's spot on. So the only problem I've got is this here, these come from different manufacturers for different trusses. I've mainly used Duratruss. These are Duratruss. This pole here is a global truss. I brought two for the two poles, which centre mount, so I'm using a global truss basically noggin down the bottom there for that pole, and it connects to that pole perfectly. These ones here are Duratruss ones. These connect perfectly to my Duratruss, but they won't work with that global truss. What I need to do is buy two more global truss ones, obviously go on the top of these. But for now, I've nicked one out of there, which is a Duratruss. So this is a Duratruss. Basically, this will fit in the top of there. The only problem is this hole here doesn't quite like, well, it does line up, but it's like about half a millimetre out, which basically means that this pin here, when you put it through that bit and that bit, it will go in like that, and the little bit for the clip won't go all the way through. You can hammer it so it's not going anywhere, but obviously I need to get global truss ones to go in the top of there, and also I believe the pins might be slightly different shape as well, but for now it'll do. So yeah, all we have to do is we come along with the light. Now this hole's got to go the right way round as well, so it's either going to be that way or the other way. We're going to find out. Right, so that comes through the fatter end of there. And yeah, that's going into there, that's good. So basically that pin's in there, within reason. Now to get it out, because it don't stick out here, I'm going to have to borrow another pin to knock it out with the hammer later. So yeah, that's not going anywhere. Yep, that is. So that's tight now. What I've had to do is basically tighten it up at the angle down off the pole. So we'll go about that angle. Obviously what you could do is match the two together before you put them up, but you can't tighten it up while it's up there because it just wants to fall down. So what I've done, if you do tap it with a hammer, the pin, it does go through enough to put the clip on, which is a good idea, so that don't fall out and the light don't fall off. So we're now up on the pole. The other thing I've worked out is I have to put the power lead and the wireless DMX receiver in before I put the light up, or stand on something, which I've got something to stand on. I've got a little step which I use for the van, so, but obviously that's just more work. So eventually what I feel I'm going to do is I'm going to get gravity poles with the bases, so you can kind of put it on at a lower height, then push it up. So the only other test lasers run out. Got nice pink purpley rotating hearts going on there. You see the green flashy lights there and the little red flashy light there. Well, if we turn on the main lights in here, these here, that's my wireless DMX dildos from China, and they work with this as well. So yeah, brilliant. Thank you for watching.